Hi everyone, it's Mortgage Mel and it's time for today's Mortgage Minute. So I wanted to go through a quote that a potential customer of mine got from another lender and how these things can be very misleading. And I wanted to show you because I think even though I really tried to explain this, I don't think it really got through. But for you, I want you to learn so that you don't fall into the same trap, okay? So, a little background. I had a customer who was trying to purchase a brand new home. He's pretty young. And so, by the way, you'll see that I've removed his name and I removed the NMLS number and the name of the company just to protect them because of professional courtesy. But he had specifically asked for no escrows, but also did not want any points at all on his quotes for his closing costs. Okay, so he wanted the best interest rate he could get without any points. I gave him 6.875 with no points, and my closing costs ended up being actually about $750 less than the middle column where they had the 6.875. But if you'll look down on that 8.75 in the center, then you look down and across and you'll see that they have actually charged a half a point there in order to get that interest rate. I didn't charge any points, okay? So let's start at the very beginning. We have 6.99. I'm just going to be looking at this while I explain it to you. And the purchase price was $431,000. The down payment was $86,200. Our mortgage amount was $344,800. Now, if you continue to look in that column one, this is the next thing that's misleading, right? They actually used, I didn't do this part of it. The only thing that's on here for me is the red. But they actually highlighted in yellow the principal and interest only payment. So principal and interest only does not include your taxes or your insurance. So it's not your total monthly payment. Okay. But they still do list property taxes and homeowners insurance and get a total monthly payment, but they didn't highlight the total monthly payment. They highlighted the principal and interest. So my young fella thought that $2291.65 was his total monthly payment. So he thought somehow my payment was higher, but that's the wrong interest rate, right? Keep going down and you'll see that one had lower closing costs. It was $14.15. That's what he thought his closing costs were. But remember, they jacked up the interest rate to 6.99. If you look in the second column, this is where I was, 6.875, but I had no points in there, and my total closing costs were about $750 less, okay? But that's not what he thought he was getting. And then if you look in column 3, this didn't really matter because we were going to buy down the interest rate a little bit more, apparently, on this quote. This is not my quote again. But here again, he had asked for 0 points, and he's got 3/4 of a point included in this. So I'm bringing this to your attention because when you're looking at this kind of paperwork, it can be very confusing, but you really do need to know what you're comparing to what, right? So if somebody is giving you a specific rate and you're comparing that and the closing costs, you need to understand that as a lender, I can adjust those closing costs by adding more into your interest rate if you want, or I can go with a lower interest rate and have a little bit higher closing costs, or we can add points in and have an even lower interest rate. So you can buy down the interest rate or not, depending on what you want, but you do need to know what you're asking for and be able to compare apples and apples. So I don't want you to fall prey to something that's misleading, as the example again here with the 2291.65 principal and interest only, not your total monthly payment. And why would you put yellow highlighter on that to confuse someone who is a novice, and putting that first $14.15 as the closing costs also misleading, because my friend did not realize that was just that first offering. That was not proposal 2. It does look like they did highlight proposal 2, but that's not how he was reading the form. So be careful out there. Be aware that you can end up with some things that look misleading on paperwork, and always ask lots of questions. Have a great day.